Chapter 5. After lunch, they all went into the garden to enjoy the sunshine. Mrs. McGregor brought them something to drink and then asked,
"So, what did you find out about Nessie?"
"That she's made of tin and sits in a duck pond,"
said Rory with a laugh.
"You can't be serious about anything,"
complained Sheena.
"Some people have seen Nessie. Could you tell us about Arthur Grant, Dad?"
She continued.
Well, Arthur Grant did see Nessie, but that was a long time ago,
said Mr. McGregor.
At the time, Grant was a young veterinary student. He was going from Inverness to Glen Urquhart. Suddenly he saw something dark. It was moving in the bushes at the side of the road. When he drove up to the same spot, he saw a very strange creature. It had a head like a snake at the end of a long neck. It had a very large body and a long tail. When it saw Grant, it moved across the road and dived into the lake. Altogether, it was about 6 meters long.
"Scientists believed him,"
added Mrs. McGregor.
"They believed Nessie was a plesiosaurus."
But they have been extinct for more than 50 million years,
said Mr. McGregor.
Maybe they haven't,
said Lisa.
In 1972, a team of scientists took a photograph of a very large creature with an underwater camera.
"It was about 8 meters long,"
added Sheena.
"and it was moving."
Well, well, well,
said Mr. McGregor.
I see you have done your homework.
"I've always thought it was a trick to encourage tourists to visit Loch Ness,"
said Mrs. McGregor.
"Maybe it's true after all."
After a while, Lisa said,
I want to develop my photos when I finish my film. Is there anywhere I could use as a darkroom?
"Do you develop your own film?"
asked Rory.
Yes,
said Lisa. Rory was impressed and then said,
"Maybe you could show me how you do that."
of course.
said Lisa.
"There is a small room next to the kitchen.
said Mrs. McGregor.
You could use that."
That sounds wonderful.
said Lisa.
Thank you.
Now that's settled.
said Mr. McGregor.
Who wants to go for a drive around the lake?
"Oh, yes, please,"
said everybody. Chapter 6. As the days passed, Lisa and the McGregors relaxed and enjoyed their holiday. Rory helped Lisa make a darkroom, and they developed her photographs. During the day, Sheena and Lisa went on excursions to different places around the loch. Mr. McGregor went fishing, but he didn't catch many fish. Mrs. McGregor spent most of her time near the cottage. She usually read in the garden.
Why don't we all do something together today?
asked Mr. McGregor one morning.
"That sounds like a nice idea, dear.
said Mrs. McGregor.
Has anybody got any ideas?"
"Let's go to the castle,"
said Rory.
"Och, I don't want to go all the way to Inverness."
said Mrs. McGregor.
"Neither do I."
said Sheena.
"I don't mean Inverness Castle. That's too far away."
said Rory.
"I mean Urquhart Castle, the one past Drumnadrochit."
It sounds like a good idea to me,
said Mr. McGregor, and everybody agreed. After breakfast, the McGregors and Lisa got into the car and drove to Urquhart Castle. It was a beautiful day,
"You're very lucky, Lisa.
said Mrs. McGregor while they were driving.
You can see the Highlands at their best."
We're all lucky.
said Mr. McGregor.
The weather has been great up to now. It usually rains.
Does it rain in August?
asked Lisa, surprised.
Yes,
Answered Mr. McGregor.
the weather in Scotland is very unpredictable.
He added, and stopped the car in the Urquhart Castle car park. As they got out of the car, a man approached them. He looked worried. He said,
Can you spare a minute of your time? It's important.
"Och, that's okay.
said Mr. McGregor.
We're not in a hurry."
I'm from Inverness.
Said the man.
I'm looking for my son and his girlfriend.
Are they lost?
Asked Mrs. McGregor.
It looks like it.
Answered the man.
They came out to the Loch yesterday. They wanted to hike around and have a picnic.
Oh dear.
Said Mrs. McGregor.
Didn't they return home?
That's right.
Said the man sadly.
My wife and I are very worried.
"Have you asked in the castle?
Asked Mr. McGregor.
Maybe somebody has seen them."
Yes, but they haven't.
The man answered.
I'm not surprised. You see, my son mentioned visiting Foyers Falls.
Oh,
Said Lisa.
Foyers. There are some beautiful waterfalls there. We went there yesterday.
Did you really?
Said the man hopefully.
Maybe you saw them. Look, here is my son's photo. I'm afraid it's not a very good one. What about his girlfriend?
Asked Rory.
I haven't got one of her. She is an exchange student from abroad. We haven't known her long.
Said the man.
They were wearing blue parka jackets.
The man continued.
I think I'll go to the other side of the lake now. Maybe I'll have more luck there.
"Sorry we couldn't be more helpful.
Said Mr. McGregor.
We're staying at the McRobinson cottage near Drumnadrochit. You can find us there if you need us."
Oh, thank you.
Said the man.
Goodbye now.
Said Mrs. McGregor.
We'll keep our eyes open.
Chapter 7. Mr. McGregor went to the kiosk to buy tickets.
I'm sure I've seen somebody in a blue parka jacket recently.
Said Lisa as they waited.
Well, lots of people wear blue parka jackets.
Said Rory.
But maybe you're right. We were at Foyers Falls yesterday.
Maybe you've got a photo of them.
Said Sheena excitedly.
You took a lot of photos yesterday.
Yes, I did,
Said Lisa.
but I haven't developed them yet.
We'll develop them this afternoon.
Said Rory. Just then, Mr. McGregor arrived with their tickets.
"Let's go."
He said. They all walked down the side of the hill and crossed the old drawbridge.
"I bought a guidebook while I was buying the tickets."
Said Mr. McGregor.
Let's have a look.
Said Rory, and took it from his father's hand.
"You know, Lisa,
Said Mr. McGregor.
there is a huge cave under this castle. Some people believe that Nessie and her little ones live there."
Oh, it says here the castle was destroyed in 1692.
Said Rory.
That was a very long time ago.
Said Mrs. McGregor.
Does it say why?
Yes, so Nessie and her family couldn't use it.
Answered Rory. Sheena and Lisa both stared at him.
I'm only joking, sorry.
Said Rory.
The people wanted to keep the enemy out.
Mrs. McGregor changed the subject.
Oh, look at that view.
She said, and looked down the loch.
It's so strange.
Said Rory.
It is clear here, but the other side is covered in fog.
It was like that yesterday afternoon too,
Said Lisa.
but it wasn't foggy in the morning when we were there.
You were lucky, Lisa,
Said Sheena.
because you were able to take all those wonderful photos of the falls.
"That's right.
Agreed Mr. McGregor.
The weather can change suddenly here. Come on, let's take advantage of the clear weather and enjoy the castle."
Chapter 8. Lisa and Sheena explored the castle together. Then they walked to the shore of the lake. Lisa took a few photographs. She hoped to take a photograph of Nessie,
It's very beautiful here.
said Sheena.
Years ago, people entered the castle from the loch.
You mean they got here by boat?
Asked Lisa,
Yes.
answered Sheena.
What's that strange noise?
Asked Lisa,
I can't hear anything.
answered Sheena,
It sounds like strange music.
said Lisa,
Oh, that.
said Sheena,
That's a piper.
A piper?
asked Lisa,
What's that?
Come on,
said Sheena.
I'll show you.
The two girls followed the sound of the music,
It's coming from up there.
said Lisa, and pointed at the tower at the top of the castle. They found the way in and walked up a staircase. When they arrived at the top of the tower, they found the rest of the McGregors,
Come on, Lisa,
said Mr. McGregor.
and listen to our national instrument, the bagpipes.
Lisa couldn't believe her eyes. She saw a man dressed in a kilt. He was blowing into one of the pipes, and at the same time, he was squeezing the bag he was holding.
It's a strange sound,
She said.
but I think I like it.
They all stood at the top of the tower for a little while and enjoyed the music. Then Lisa said,
Mr. McGregor, his kilt is different to yours.
and pointed at the piper's kilt,
Yes, that's right.
answered Mr. McGregor.
Each family, or clan as we say in Gaelic, has its own tartan. My kilt belongs to the McGregor family. It's the clan McGregor tartan.
I like your tartan the best.
Said Lisa with a smile.
Look,
Said Rory, and pointed to the other side of the lake.
it's still very foggy over there.
Yes,
Said Mrs. McGregor.
those poor children probably got lost in it. I hope they are okay. The fogs can last for days.
If they're really unlucky, they'll bump into Nessie in the dark.
Laughed Rory.
That's enough.
Said Mr. McGregor.
Let's go now. My stomach is telling me it's time for lunch.
Mine too.
Laughed Lisa.
Remember, Rory, we're going to develop those photos this afternoon.